My name is Chi Adeli. I'm from Nigeria originally and came here to work as the Director of Community Development of the East Dayton Fellowship.
Hi, I'm Zach Spidell. I am the lead pastor of the East Dayton Fellowship located in Dayton, Ohio. So our area is a neighborhood that was a working class neighborhood for a long time. Families were intact. It was a good place to live. Starting probably as early as the 70s, but really picking up steam thereafter, the neighborhood entered a very significant decline.
Because people were poor, people got depressed, and what could do it for them was drugs.
We became an epicenter here in Dayton in general, and on the east side in particular for the opioid epidemic, and a ton of homelessness that's tied up with that. So East Dayton is this place, a bit like every place I imagine, where there's very serious brokenness. But that brokenness itself becomes the site of some of the most beautiful stuff you can see, because where there is brokenness, there's room for kingdom seeds to germinate.
At that beginning, I met a lady. Her name is Belinda. I asked Belinda, what can the church do for you? She said, food, just give me McDonald's. And so she was in the car eating. And I had even forgotten my question. And she said, well, back to your question. Many people who are helping us, who want to help us, don't have the time for us. They would rather toss things on us, give us things. And that's good. That's helpful. But you know what? We also want to be human beings. We want people who will have time for us. And immediately I finished that conversation with Belinda, I knew that I had found what God wants us to do, how Jesus is connected in this whole thing. And that thing is restoring the dignity of human beings.
We're a church that is for our neighborhood and of our neighborhood. We try to basically have an attitude, if you want to do something that serves and blesses the neighborhood, we will find a way to do it with you if you want to do it with us. So every day, there's a ministry called Whole Truth Ministries. They are a Christ-centered addiction recovery ministry. Every day, they use our church as a day hub for the men who are early in their recovery but need to have good things to do with their hands. So they come to the church and they work. And some of those men have become dear friends, and they're every bit a part of us. Every Friday and every Saturday, the pantry is open.
We give them raw food downstairs. We give them clothes.
We served 540 lunches 2 Fridays ago, which was a new record. And we routinely are going over 500 lunches now.
Also, one-on-one, we talk to them. The kind of discipleship we're doing here is abiding, being with them. Because when you just keep giving people things, you think for them, you think, oh, they must need this, and you give it to them. You don't give them the opportunity to be human beings. Because the most important thing about people who are homeless is not homelessness. The most important thing is that they are people.
And it feels like almost monthly, like some new thing will be suggested. Hey, can we do this in your building? Hey, can we work on this? And we try to say yes. That is a church that has 28 members. And an attendance of around 45 people on an average Sunday, with a good number of those attenders themselves being people that are homeless or are currently in a sober living house. But by partnering with others, by being open-hearted, by taking risks for Jesus, God has multiplied his effort. He breaks apart whatever little loaf we have, starts handing it out, and if we keep handing it on, it keeps supplying, even if the loaf starts out small. It is exciting to watch God work. He works when we reach our own limits, when we say, I don't know how this will work. I don't know how we'll fund this. But it sure looks like Jesus, and I think, Jesus, you're telling me to do it, so I'm going to try.
If we're really pursuing the goals of Jesus, his aim, then we will look at the poor through his eyes. And it's just as simple as that. So we say it doesn't have to be in East Dayton, but wherever you are, there are marginalized people. There are people who don't have a voice, who don't have a say. There are people who we can identify with to help.